And we are live. Welcome to another edition of the Goalpost. It's been a while that we've been off air. We've been trying to rebrand, and now we are back. A whole lot of games were played yesterday. We saw Manchester United being knocked out by League Two side Grimsby Town, and it was an horrific performance for the Ruben Amorim led side. However, I'm not alone. I have someone who is making his debut. He's my good friend. He's also, one of the top football analysts in Nigeria and around the city of Ibadan. Yomi, good morning. How are you doing, Yomi?
Hello, good morning to you. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. It's been very interesting. The league has kickstarted, and teams are beginning to falter. I know you are a huge Arsenal fan, but let's talk about the EFL Cup that happened yesterday. What do you make of a Manchester United side losing to a League Two team? I mean, till the 89th minute, they were trailing a Grimsby Town, and you would expect the quality of Manchester United to be able to dispatch a League Two side. I mean, even if you look at the earnings, the total squad for Grimsby Town, the total payment they get in a whole year is £3 million. Onana,
3.6.
yeah, 3.6. Onana, who is the goalkeeper for Manchester United, earns over £6 million a year. Do you think Ruben Amorim is the right person for the job? Owing to the fact that he has played 3 matches so far, he has lost 2, drawn 1, and previously he had before the yesterday game, he had played 29 games, lost 17, won 7, and drew 5. Do you think he's the right person for Manchester United?
All right. The first thing I'm going to talk about Amorim is that before he came to Manchester United, he was having a very good record at home. That is the club he was actually coaching. And another thing is, you look at coaches being recruited after Ferguson. You notice you have the best of the best coaches like Mourinho, Ten Hag, Moyes, just name them. Very like they have very very good performance ratio. But when it comes to Man U, there's an issue. Then we have that challenge of okay, we believed it was money issue. Okay, we didn't get the right squad, we didn't get the right players, and they actually pushed in these players. Now, one of the things I actually noticed about Manchester United is their players are individual players. They don't play for like a team. To
Uh,
be honest, they don't really play like a team. So we look at it like of all those things. Yeah, sometimes we blame the coaches, but to me, what can the coaches do? Okay, he has that very raw form. It reminds me of Moyes too when he actually entered. Should we talk about Ten Hag? I think out of all of them, the one that actually had, I think, a little bit of fair performance was this their former player they actually
Social.
employed, so sharp that actually maintained it a little. Yes, Amorim has his own fault and every other thing, but I think Man U generally they look like Everton. And they don't look like Man U. They're more of an
No,
Everton players. And but look at it. Let's start with Onana. Onana has played with Ajax. He
true,
has played with Inter Milan. Do you understand? Very
true.
wonderful goal record he was keeping.
Mhm. I mean,
He came
it got to the final of the Champions League, the one they lost to Man City.
exactly.
But the question has always been: is it a matter of the players, or a matter of is it a matter of the players now, or a matter of the kind of signing they've done? I'll give a typical example. Since Ruben Amorim came, he has been able to sign a couple of players this season, and they have not been able to join. Yes, if you watch that game yesterday, Onana should never wear Manchester United jersey again. Is as terrible as any goalkeeper you can be. I mean, I was watching the match and I was really disgusted. The 2 goals were his error. He was making schoolboy error in that particular game. However, we have seen consistently that Manchester United cannot get consistency in. They've not been able to get any consistency in terms of performance, and they continue to sign players. Majority of the players, a typical example, Ruben Amorim chased McTominay away. McTominay became the key player in delivering the SerieA title to Napoli last season. Do you think it's a player thing or a coach thing? Because I mean, if you take the McTominay away and it's becoming a huge star in Napoli, does that not speak about the coaching situation in Manchester United?
Oh, you forgot to mention Anthony too.
Yes, Anthony. Yeah.
So one thing is, it may be the coach fault here. One is that there are sometimes you may have a large number of squad. Now look at all those people you actually mentioned. For example, McTominay, he was a first team starter for some of the coaches. And after some time, he had this bad play, especially with Solskjaer. Do you understand? He started with Solskjaer before the Amorim era too, and he was actually loaned out. One thing is, I told you, please, point of reference, Man U are players play individually. They don't play as a team. Do you understand now? Look at all these players you're talking about. Should we start from Sancho? Sancho went to Man U. Sancho did well. Do you understand now? Should we talk about that is Anthony? Anthony left Man U, went to Real Betis. Do you understand? He's a star man. Are you talking about McTominay? Do you understand now? He's a star man there. Now those players, they need to feel like okay, they are playing as a team. Everybody in mind is that okay because we are star studded and we are actually collecting huge money. Everybody wants to shine in individually.
But the question is this: is it not the responsibility of the coach to get them playing? For example, you talked about Anthony. Anthony was a shadow of himself at Manchester United. He left for Real Betis, got to the final of the Conference League. Yes, they didn't win it. Chelsea was able to dispatch them in that final. McTominay left. He became very fantastic for Napoli. Rashford fell out with Ruben Amorim, went to Aston Villa, was fantastic for Aston Villa. Yes, he had some injury concern. Sancho left. Sancho went to win the Conference League in Chelsea. Is that not a pattern? Does that not show a pattern that the coaches have not been able to get it right in terms of harmonizing and getting the best out of the players?
Okay, one thing is, I think where Amorim is actually getting it wrong is I still believe he's in Portugal. You understand? He's still using that same system as of Portugal. Do you understand? To come and judge the English Premier League. One thing is that yes, some of the ideologies will work, but I think that is where I'm actually going to blame Amorim. Amorim should have learned from Ten Hag when he left Ajax too. And looked at okay, yes, you may have fantastic ideas in your former club. Do you understand? And when you bring it over, it may not work. Look at Mourinho. Even Mourinho that has actually gone to different clubs, do you understand? Came to Man U. Yes, Mourinho was a little bit good. They were not like baskets like we are now. Basket of goals that's coming in. But naturally, Man U are very, very shambolic. And to me, if Amorim should continue like this in the next one or two games, I think he may be sacked. In fact, there was this joke with one of my friends. It was like, okay, if he was a punter, he would be playing Man U like okay, a goal against Man U on almost all his games. There is 80% chance of it coming.
I mean, if you are Manchester United, the last 3 games they've played this season, they've not been able to keep a clean sheet. And to top it all, you are playing a League 2 side, and you are conceding goals. You have Dallo, you have Maguire, you have Fernandes, you have Sesko, you have Bueno, you have Cunha, and the list goes on. You have Kobe Mino. You have Onana. How?
For this kind of cups, ideally, we don't use the big boys. That is how it's being played. These are the best for this kind of cups at this moment with this kind of teams. What most teams usually do is that they just bring in their upcoming stars. Do you understand? Give them that playing time. But with Man U even using their stars and they are getting this, I think it's actually shambolic for Man U. To be honest, if he continues this way, I think he will be sacked.
Let me put you on the spot. So, when do you think Ruben Amorim will be sacked based on his performance?
If his performance goes on like this, he may be sacked by October, March.
October, okay. So that means after the international break, we should be expecting Ruben Amorim to be sacked, right?
Yes, I think he should have written his sack letter down by himself.
Well, in any case, a whole lot of games to be played over the weekend. one of the big matches. You are a huge Arsenal fan, and Arsenal will be playing against Liverpool at Anfield. The title holders will host Arsenal. Do you think Arsenal can keep the pressure on Liverpool? Anfield. If you look at Anfield and the history of the two teams, the most of the time Arsenal seem to always, falter at the end. In the last 2 seasons, they finished second. No, the last 3 seasons they've ended up squandering the league from, a winning position. And also, there is a 32-year-old guy, Mohamed Salah, who was very fantastic last season and scoring, 29 goals, and making him the PFA Player of the Year and the rest of that. There is also an Arsenal snatching up an Eberechieze because of the injury to what's the name again now? I can't remember the name now. Because of the injury to Kai Havertz, yes. Because of the injury to Kai Havertz. So, what do you make of that particular game? Owing to the fact that Arsenal only relies on set pieces to win games. They did against Manchester United, and the last game they won 5-0. Some of the goals came from set pieces.
Okay, that's a very, very good point. But to look at it this way, yes, Arsenal has been consistent with their second position for 3 consecutive times. We should give that to them. Before, whenever Arsenal plays Liverpool, especially away, there's always this fear with Arsenal, like, oh, they are going to they will drop in 3 goals against Arsenal and or 4 goals. Do you understand? There's this mentality now. But if you look at it, I'm going to look at it from stats wise. It's been very, very long. One that a big team has actually beaten Arsenal on that is EPL teams, EPL top big 6 teams have actually beaten Arsenal. Then another thing there we should also look at is that Arsenal's defense is no longer like before.
Okay.
You understand? Arsenal has one of the best defense in the Premier League at the moment. Now, another thing we should look at is that even the Liverpool we are actually looking at, Liverpool's defense, they have wonderful attack. It's as if the attack is just so wonderful that yes, they can score goals, but it's still the same Liverpool that concedes goals. Now, let me give you an example. 2 times Arsenal has actually played the last 2 games against Liverpool. I think it was a draw, 2-2 draws.
2-2, yeah.
Yes, 2-2 draws. And apart from that, and I think it's been very long Arsenal has ever considered 3 goals at a stretch. Very, very long. So that is something you should look at. Yes, we have Mo Salah and other beautiful players there, but Ekitike is around now. Then they have lots of these wingers that can actually stretch it. They have Gravenberch. I love that guy. I wish Arsenal got him on time.
You made mention of Liverpool's defense. I think a lot of people who watch Liverpool consistently will tell you, the defense has been in shambles. The game against Newcastle was a testament to that. The defense was really exposed. How do you struggle against a 10-man Newcastle? And it had to, you needed the help of the referee in quotes now. I'm not saying they cheated. You needed the help of the referee to extend the game for another 10 minutes before you could probably win that particular game. But week in, week out, if you look at from the Community Shield, the kind of goals they concede, it seems Van Dijk is dropping from Van Dijk and Konate. Those 2 pairings seems to be disastrous when they play together. Do you think the inconsistency will play into Arsenal's hand on Sunday?
Yes, it will play. That is an issue they have now. Is that if they keep conceding, let's look at the match against Newcastle. Imagine if Newcastle don't have a man down. I think it won't be what we are saying now. One is that the Arsenal team now is that before Arsenal is being used to playing from the wings. Do you understand? We use our wingers, cause Wahala, then do you understand? And the goals comes in. But now, if you look at the last 2 games Arsenal has played, do you understand? They are not really working from the wing again. Everybody is now trying to feed in. That is Gyökeres.
Mhm.
Now that is why the first two games, everybody's like, oh, wow. Especially against Man U, everybody was like, oh, how come Arsenal is this poor? How come? But Arsenal, one thing you note about Arsenal is that they know how to grind in. You understand? To get their points out. Now,
I mean, Gwen is a fantastic striker and is a point man. So I mean, you expect the team to play for him. The reason why they brought him in is more of, we need a point man. In the last 3 seasons, Arsenal has failed to deliver, deliver expectation in terms of winning the league because they do not have a striker that can do the job. But
I
with the
don't
inclusion of
think
Gwen,
I don't really think that was Arsenal's issue with the striker. Let me be very very honest with you. Though the points for last season against Liverpool, I think it was up to 10 points. Do you
10 points,
understand?
yeah, 10 points, yeah.
But one thing you should note is that even without Arsenal having a striker, do you understand? They were able to like grinding the goals, and we used Merino. Do you
True.
understand? Even when Harvard, but look at that last 2 seasons, it was major injuries that actually stopped Arsenal from winning the league. But right now, I think Arsenal, if you look at Arsenal's lineup now, if you remove one, I believe there are two people that can fit in it one slot.
Okay, as
Now,
I want you to wear your hat as as an analyst now, and not
okay,
as an Arsenal fan. If you look
okay.
at the game objectively, do you think um, Arsenal will be able to dethrone Liverpool? Arsenal will be able to beat Liverpool this weekend?
Yes, I believe Arsenal can beat Liverpool. Now, the reason why I said I believe Arsenal can beat Liverpool is that if I have a porous defense and I'm always counting on, okay, the amount of goals I'm going to score should be higher than the amount of goals I'm going to concede. Do you understand? It doesn't really work for everything. Now, from an Arsenal's angle, they're like, okay, even if I cannot score plenty goals, I'm going to make sure that the goals coming in very, very few. So imagine if Arsenal should go in and actually score 2 goals or 3 goals. You understand? And Liverpool wants to do the same. You understand? Which can be very, very hard with kind of defense Arsenal is having. I just hope though they don't start Lewis Kelly for that match. Sincerely,
Why?
because of it, no,
Why?
it's
Why?
prone to foul.
Why do you
It's
think Lewis Kelly is a bad idea for that particular game?
is prone to foul. Do you understand now? Very, very prone to foul. But I'm also scared for Calafori. If Calafori is going to actually play there too, I know he doesn't have pace. Do you understand? So Arsenal can actually lag him behind because Zubimendi will be assisting him a lot there, and probably Noni or if it's Martinelli that is going to actually play there. Do you understand now? They will actually assist. So, but if I am looking at, yes, there will be goals, but I don't think with the kind of Arsenal team I am seeing, don't forget you are having a weak defense against Gyökeres at the moment.
Well, that's true. I mean, Konate and Van Dijk, they've
So
been terrible so far.
so imagine all the top strikers and the wingers of Liverpool should go forward, leaving their defense, and it's a counter. What do you think it is?
That's interesting. Well, let's say it plays out. I think you are tilting towards Arsenal taking it.
No, 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 I'm not tilting towards us now taking it. I am looking at the statistics. Do you understand?
Oh, okay.
Even against 10, I'm looking at this against us now. Liverpool has failed to win us now in their last 5 games.
Wow.
Yes.
So
In,
do you think that continues, or Liverpool finds a way to to break that jinx?
all right. I, I hope for this game Liverpool will not find that jinx to break. Do you understand? Now, probably. But the thing there is that Arsenal, Ateta at the moment doesn't have a reason. Do you understand? Not to win the Premier League. So he's actually going to bring out his best hands for games like this. Now, Liverpool, you can't trust Salah, very wonderful. They have Eketike, you understand, and every other thing. But it's very, one is now it's a battle of the midfield and also the attack. If anybody should get that midfield, do you understand? In fact, Arsenal doesn't really concern itself about the midfield now because there was a time was the other guy was actually injured and I wasn't it, and Saka at again. But one thing they actually did was that they don't have creative. Even the Nwaneri that was coming in once in a while and actually juggling the ball. But one thing is that their defense and their defensive midfielders were actually taking that position, and we used more of the wingers to actually cut him. But now is if Liverpool should lose that midfield that is supplying or going to supply Salah and every other and their attackers, there will be an issue.
Okay, so for you now, and this is me asking you as an Arsenal fan, Arteta has gotten close 3 times in a row. If Arteta does not, and if Arteta does not win the league this season, do you think Arteta should be fired?
I think he should be fired. To be honest, one was that whatever I think with Better that came in, do you understand, as a sporting director, Arteta has been given all the necessary tools he requested for.
So if he does not deliver the EPL, then he should be fired.
If one thing that can save Arteta is if he should win at least 2 cups, probably one of the smaller cups, EFL, probably Carabao Cup, FA, and EPL. Let him just have at least 2 or 3 cups. Do you understand now? I think it's good. If God should bless him, probably win a Champions League, he'll be safe. But if not, if he's not going to win any cup this season, he should be sacked.
But in any case, let's go over to the blue side of Man City, the blue side of Manchester. I mean, Pep Guardiola, the first game, fantastic, was able to win 3-0. There's an Ederson who is going to leave very soon. It seems Guardiola has chosen him out. The save rate has been very poor, and apart from the fact that he's very good with his foot, you need goalkeepers to get you to win you some games, and he has not been able to deliver on that.
Excuse me.
Yeah, there's a Donnarumma who is on the verge of leaving PSG, and there is a Man City that continues to be inconsistent. Their first game they won 3-0 against Burnley. They won fantastic 3-0. Then against Tottenham they were really exposed. What do you think is really going on? And they've signed players. They've signed a whole lot of players. Nick Gonzalez. They've chased what's the name away. They've chased Kai Walker away. Kusanov. A whole lot of key players have come in for them. Yet their game against Tottenham left little or nothing to be desired. Now they are playing against a Brighton side that knows, that are giant killers. Do you think the inconsistency that plagued Man City last season, and a whole lot of people said, Guardiola said it was injury, a whole lot of people attributed it to Rodri not being around and the rest of that. Rodri will not be available until October. Do you think the inconsistency is because of Rodri, or do you think Guardiola is, law of diminishing return has started catching up with Guardiola?
Okay, yes, they had a very wonderful first game, that is Man City, and they lost hopefully to Tottenham on the second one. But one thing is that even the team they are going to play, that is Brighton, don't forget that they lost this same fixture last season. That's the thing. They actually lost the same fixtures. And to be honest, out of all the players that were brought in from last season to this season, I think it's only Mamouche a little. Do you understand now? That's been able to live up to his expectations. Others are just like average player with plenty money. That is what I see there. One is that yes, you may actually be right on another thing. The diminishing return, do you understand, may actually be kicking in. If because they've been very consistent for almost 5 seasons back to back.
Sure.
Now, one thing is that if you keep playing a style all the time, don't forget, mine is to look for a way of improving on your improving so that I'll be able to match your style and win against you. We cannot be playing chess. You and I can't be playing chess. You understand? You are using the same move 5 times. And I think after some time, I will learn those moves and I'm going to look for ways of countering. There was a time Haaland was on fire. Then after some time, we saw the diminishing of Haaland. Do you understand now? Now, because everybody was actually playing for Haaland's foot. After some time, it actually changes, but it's not working. One thing is, Man City cannot be written out because when they want, I think that when they want to win something, they can actually put their mind to it. But sometimes I think fatigue is actually kicking in, and they already know the kind of players, the kind of team Man City is. Don't forget that even last season when they struggled, it was because Kevin De Bruyne is actually had injury. He was actually benched. But before that time, when Kevin De Bruyne was actually Kevin De Bruyne, do you understand now? We know what Man City can do. Now, who
Eh,
is stepping in for Kevin De Bruyne? Is it Bernardo Silva? He can't do every other thing. Yes, Rodri is a very wonderful player. Regrettably, he's not going to play this game. You understand now? And we look at their squad at the moment. With
hmm.
what I am saying, I doubt whether Man City can win the League One. And I even, to be honest, if Man City should come out with a draw, they tried. Because
Wow.
Brighton, we know Brighton. Brighton keeps selling their best players almost every season. And
And
it's
and they keep
ridiculous.
getting new one.
They keep getting new ones. They will sell a player 100 million, go and buy 2 million player. That one will shine. Do you understand? They will grind results. And the one of the things that usually get me angry about Brighton is that they will see their mates. They will just play normally. But when they see big teams like this, that is that, oh, we are giant killers. That is it. So I think a draw will be good for Man City. If they can win the game, fine. But I think a draw is good for them for the next match.
I mean, so are you saying Guardiola team is only built on Rodri? Because I mean, since Rodri stopped playing, since Rodri got injured since last season, the result has not been consistent. Do you think if Rodri comes back, do you think everything changes?
I doubt if that is the issue. Before Rodri, do you understand? I think Guardiola has been playing well. But when you lose Rodri, there's no Kevin De Bruyne there for you. Wow, that is what the issue is. So it's not about Rodri. Do you understand? I think even without Rodri, they still maintain and played fair game last season. But yes, Rodri will have been a wonderful spice to it. But don't forget that even with that one, they have other players that may step in. So Rodri may actually help. But even if Rodri should play, it's not only Rodri that is in the pitch.
Hmm.
Look at it. Look at their back. Akanji is no longer a starter.
True,
Stones,
true,
not like before. They are now
true.
bringing in some small boys. I think Bob or whatever his name is. Do you
Oscar Bob,
understand?
Oscar Bob,
Oscar Bob. Thank you.
replaced Kyle Walker and the rest of them.
Do you
Oscar Bob
understand?
is
There's no
playing.
car. Before when you look at Man City, you are seeing Kyle Walker, you're seeing Stones, you're seeing there was this guy, and you see the defense looking wonderful. Then you look at the midfield like wow, but now the defense is weak. Even look at it against Arsenal. I last season, not even against Arsenal only, even with smaller teams last season. Do you understand? The they conceded more goals compared to the Man City we usually know.
Well,
Now
that's interesting.
this season, do you understand? They've already considered 2 goals at home.
Hmm.
Now you are going to play Brighton. Do you understand? What is it?
Hmm. Wow. Well, it's going to be an interesting game.
Yes.
To wrap up the APL, let's go to the struggling red side. I mean, we spoke excessively about them earlier in the show when after the intro, and I wanted to find out. Manchester United is playing against a Burnley side. Burnley, the result has not been consistent for Burnley. They've been hammered. Everybody's hammering them. It might be a repeat of when they came up with Vincent Kompany, the current coach of Bayern Munich. Manchester United is coming on the backdrop of a disappointing and disgraceful defeat to Grimsby Town. Should I add a League Two side? What do you think Ruben Amorim needs to do right to be able to ensure that he takes the pressure off him? Because I mean, if he doesn't win this game again, the pressure and the calls to sack him will continue to grow, and the board might probably yield to that call and probably let him go.
Okay. Yes. For Manchester United and yes, for their first 3 competitive games this season, they've not been able to win any. But yes, pressure is on Amorim to actually win one. But let me use this word against Burnley. Man U has a wonderful record with them. I think for their last 7 games, Man U has been beating them, so they can use that particular one to joge. I'm sure you understand. So sorry, like okay, they can use that one as
an avenue to be able to step back into the winning ways.
You understand? Now, another thing we should look at is that this is the kind of games in Buemo and Kuna are used to.
I mean, they played Grimsby and they didn't do anything fantastic. Mbemo came in and scored,
So,
nothing else. And he was part of those that lost the penalty. So, I mean,
yes, don't forget that he scored the first penalty. Though Kuna also lost one penalty.
I know Kuna was supposed to win that game. He decided to dash Grimsby the ball.
That's the spirit of penalties for you. You understand? Anybody say 50-50, you understand, for penalties. But where I'm actually coming in is that yes, because of the pressure and Man U need to actually make a statement now, and I think this is an avenue for them to make a statement to build that. To build that courage, do you understand? To build the momentum for a long season ahead. For a long season, this is the best time. Yes, I believe that Amorim is going to win that game, especially against Burnley. But if he should lose that game, probably he's going to get a stick. Yes, he's going to get a stick. They won't give him. He has been having the carrots. One thing is that how would I have a team of almost the individual amount, like total for a Man U team is more than 800 and something million,
That's true.
and I'm losing to someone that's 3.6.
I
Let's
mean,
even forget the money.
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. I'm sure all My U fans, there's no way you will talk to them now, like they won't even respond. But let's hope they start it now. And Pony to actually be very, very careful. Reason why is that they already is not. They also have their own analysts too. And for this analyst, you'll be looking at, okay, how come for the last 7 fixtures we've not been able to get it right. If they can get it right, it will be bad for Amorim. But I can also tell you that Man U really needs this game just to boost confidence.
Oh, okay. That's fantastic. And before we wrap up, let's just take a look at some other leagues. Let's look at the Spanish La Liga. Barcelona in their last game, they struggled. It took an own goal for them to win. A whole lot of people have been saying that it seems teams in the La Liga they've been able to find out as the flick might not have the magic again. And they played against a Real Vallecano side that is a very very difficult team. Historically, Barcelona struggles anytime they travel to the Vallecas to play. I mean, it's a very tough stadium to go, and they hardly come out with the point. Remember, there's a Xabi Alonso, who has kickstart life in Real Madrid. The results are coming in Xabi Alonso's side. They are ahead of Barcelona at the moment based on goal difference. Do you think as Flick has been found out? I mean, the start of their side last week, they struggled to win until the last minute. If not for that one goal, Barcelona would have drawn that game. Do you think, Barcelona have what it takes to be able to defend their La Liga title, owing to the fact that their performance last week was not the type of performance you would expect from a defending champion?
Yes, I think yes. Everybody has their bad moments, and for that game, don't forget that Barca was away. You understand? So we can look at the away factor with Barca. Yes, Barcelona we already know as a Flick for one thing. He's a very very good coach. You understand now? And even Real Madrid, yes, they will have a tough fixture against Real Madrid in the future. But one thing you should look at is that in the last